Sure. I'm going to see about a girl.
Going to see about a girl. Born then, were you?
Nope, not even until 10 years later.
In today's episode title, evidenced by the title.
Evidenced by the title.
Like, you can't go through the front door. So I'm like,
Sure. I don't know. I think the relationship managers come in and they're...
Yes, is Bank of Guam, the People's Bank.
The People's Bank.
Welcome to Making Waves, your Tasi Bank podcast. I'm your host, Alan Gaul, Vice President of Marketing and Brand. And today's guest is Robin Cartago, who is a credit analyst with us. And today's episode title, Credit Check, Unpacking the Analyst Role with Robin Cartago. Robin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robin. I've been an analyst here at Tasi Bank for over 3.5 years now. I'm born and raised here in the Bay Area. I grew up in the East Bay out in Dublin. And
You're an A's fan too, right?
an A's fan.
You sad about the A's leaving?
I am extremely upset about it. I went to the last Battle of the Bay on Sunday.
Did you? Those were always great games. I loved going to those as a kid. '89 was awesome when they both went to the World Series, the earthquake game.
Earthquake game.
Yeah. You weren't even born then, were you?
Nope, not even until 10 years later.
You were born in 99?
98.
98?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sad. And I'm more sad too because this is great that you're on the program today. And why is it so great? Well, I mean, you're a credit analyst and it's an important role. But you're leaving the company. After 3 years and 8 months, I looked it up on your HR file. Great HR file, by the way. You're a good employee. I hope they have you back. You're quitting voluntarily because you actually are you just competed a marathon in Hawaii, if I remember correctly.
It was my first triathlon.
Oh, it was a triathlon.
Yeah.
I apologize. You guys with your egos, marathon's not good enough, right? You had to do a full try.
No, I just, running was just too impactful on my back and knees, so I just wanted to switch it up.
Yeah. So you did the Ironman in Hawaii.
It was just an Olympic try.
Okay. But you're moving to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's right.
So your last day at Tasi Bank is?
September 6th.
Nice. And you're going to Hawaii to start a whole new life and a chapter.
Yeah.
Want to tell everyone why you're leaving? Why are you leaving? That's the greatest place in the world to work. You know that.
Yeah, it's a great place to work. I was living in Oakland, not too
O-Town,
far away.
shout out to 510.
Shout out to 510, shout out to town. My commute was 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
days.
everything sounds great so far, and you're still choosing to leave. Like choosing to leave it's like the mafia. But go on.
Yeah, well, right now while I'm still young and I have so many different opportunities and paths that I could take, I just wanted to do something for myself and try something new in a new place.
And that includes following your heart.
And that includes following my heart.
Do we want to mention Emily's name on the program?
Sure. I'm going to see about a girl.
Going to see about a girl. I know a couple of guys that did that kind of stuff. Some dude moved from San Francisco all the way to South Carolina to follow a girl.
Who was that?
I don't know, but he was a lucky guy. That's all I'll say. Shout out Kim Smith. All right, so what are we doing here? We talked about Making Waves, a podcast. We talked about you leaving us, which is really unfortunate. You've been such a great guy and you fit into the culture. We're really going to be sad to see you leave. Pipeline meetings will probably go a little more efficiently. I mean, we probably won't go 2-hour pipeline calls. We'll just go one without you on the call, and we'll speed it up a little bit.
Sure.
All right, so tell us, what does a typical day look like for Robin Cartago as a credit analyst?
Well, a typical day for me, I will come in and we have these early morning huddles where we share our wins for the day before and start.
How do you feel about the huddle? I mean, I have to do one with the management team, and we do ours at 8:55 every morning.
8:55.
Yeah, I guess because the bank opens at 9 and they want it done before, I don't know, banking hours. Do banking hours even exist?
Not for me.
Right? I don't even.
Those front doors close and I'm still in here for hours.
Those front doors close. I feel like I'm locked in. Like, you can't go through the front doors. So I'm like, I'm never here and I can't use the front. They make me go through the servants' entrance. I'm the podcast guy. go through the servants' entrance. All right, so you have your own huddle, right? Every department has a huddle, and that's been kind of a cool cultural thing for the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Has that huddle helped you guys in your daily sort of operations and sort of the teamwork where you guys are really sort of, you guys talk about the wins of the day, right? What the priorities are for,
Yeah. Yeah, our wins ours is at 9:15, so wins from the day before.
Yeah, because Hitesh is on my call at 8:55, and he's got to get off at 9:15. So I try to plan my coffee breaks around that call because as soon as 9:15 rolls around, I'm free for the rest of the day because I know Hitesh is doing something else with you guys. But anyway, so you guys have your call at 9:15.
Yeah, 9:15, and we put together all of our kudos for each other, and then we start with our dragons right after that, things that we want to slay first thing in the morning within an hour, within the next few hours, and then frogs are our bigger goals that we are trying to break down and ultimately get started to wrap those things up. But me and all the other analysts, we go through our pipelines. I work on deals, the other analysts work on their own respective deals, and we work with the underwriters and the RMs to start working with the customer, collecting documentation, reviewing financials, and just.
So that's a really good answer and a little bit of an overview. But go into the maybe explain the process of credit analysts and how it influences the lending decision, so to speak. Maybe walk through the steps of how do you analyze a borrower's creditworthiness. I mean, what does that word even mean, right? I mean, and then discuss the sort of the analysis impacts of whether a loan is approved, denied, or modified, right? There's different stages, different walk us through that process a little bit in terms of how you guys work with those decisions.
Yeah, there's a number of things that could impact a borrower's creditworthiness, and as a bank, we want to make sure that we're making good deals for our customers. We're tailoring them to make sure that they get what they need, and we're not putting ourselves at risk. So looking at a borrower's financial health, first of all, the property. We do a lot of commercial real estate here at Tasi. So
I mean, that's primarily our business, right? Small business lending, commercial bank.
Commercial bank. Does the borrower have enough money to pay off what they're requesting for, and if not, how can we make ourselves more comfortable in order to give them something that benefits both parties?
Yeah, so managing that risk piece is vitally important in terms of the creditworthiness and the financial health of the borrower.
Yeah, and we have some workarounds as well. Some guarantors creditworthiness as well. You want to look at the entire package.
Well, and the entire package also includes a relationship, right? And we have a lot of long-term relationships with clients, and we really pride ourselves on building value, depending on the line, right? For the cannabis line, it's growing value for those clients.
Growing value.
100%. So in terms of the value, how do you guys as credit analysts stay objective and impartial in your assessments? Do you guys follow any kind of policies or procedures? I mean, are there any checks and balances in place that you guys need to follow? I'm a marketing guy, so I'm just asking questions. When I went to banking school, You know why? I didn't see the end. I was going to baking school. Right. I was going to have a life of making croissants, and now I'm like changing $20 bills. I don't even know how to do that. They don't even let me near the cash drawer. So anyway, I mean, what do you guys do in terms of benchmarks and checks and balances for your impartiality?
Benchmarks, we take a look at debt service coverage ratios, loan to value restrictions, and we have all these different limits for different asset types, whether that's apartments, multifamily, hospitality, cannabis. We're a little bit more stringent on the risk profile.
Well, you were going to use the word scrutinize, I think, right? But we do, from a compliance and a BSA perspective, we do get scrutinized in terms of, especially on the cannabis line, right? I mean, that is something you have to scrutinize from that risk perspective.
For sure. Just taking a look at our guidelines and loan requirements for those different asset types, and making sure they're in line with the market, and just understanding that part of the relationship.
Sure. And which is important. And, in terms of relationship, right? I mean, I have a relationship with each one of you guys. I don't really work with, all of you guys closely. But talk about, the collaboration. I mean, what does your collaboration look like with other departments? I'm sure you're not doing this on your own, right? I mean, you got the underwriters who you work with, but there's also loan support, loan servicing, who I see you guys interact with. At times I see you interacting with operations and digital banking. So what does that collaboration look like in terms of the role of the credit analyst? And, are those resources that you rely on, and are they helping you with the decision-making process, or what is their roles in terms of how you do your job?
Well, the relationship managers, their job is to manage the relationship.
Evidenced by the title.
Evidenced by the title.
Do you think they manage like their own personal relationships and their marriages and all that kind of stuff, or is they're just like, I can't even deal with this?
I don't know. I think the relationship managers come in and they're excited to do their job and yell at their customers. I hope they don't do that.
I think they're yelling at you.
They are yelling at me. But working with the relationship managers, their ultimate job is to work with the customers, make sure that they're content, they understand them, and the analysts, we try and just, it's pretty black and white with the numbers.
Yep.
We shouldn't. There are certain checks and balances that should be in place with looking at it from a credit perspective, and the relationships. When you're looking at the C's of credit, like, they should be the judgment of the borrower's character, and whether or not they're somebody that we want to work with as a bank. And
well, and again, that character piece is vitally important, right? As we said earlier, we have a lot of long-term relationships with our clients, and a lot of those relationships really are built on character over time, where there's trust, there's mutual respect, and as the market evolves, right, we're been sort of that boutique bank where these clients know that we're going to meet their needs in sort of things of volatility. And that actually sort of leads me into my next question in terms of a credit analyst at Tasi Bank. Are you seeing any changes or trends that are shaping the future of your role? I mean, people talk about AI, they talk about a bunch of different technology things, but there's always a human component, it seems like, in that credit analyst process. So what kind of trends that you're seeing that may be taking place in the future? Because I know we're heavy on technology, we're investing a lot. We've got people, we've got process, we've got technology, but yet there are trends that are changing. And as a young guy, really, from your perspective, what does that look like?
I mean, I'm sure this is a common thing with not just banking or any role, especially here in the Bay Area, that I think within the near future we're going to be utilizing a lot more artificial intelligence. And
that's what they say about me. They say my intelligence is artificial. I don't know if that's a compliment. And you're young too, because they're like, oh man, the marketing guy, he's cool AF. And I'm like, I love that you guys, like, I'm cool like an Air Force One shoe. I mean, like, cool AF is like, I love it. I just think
you're cool, like a polar bear's toenail.
I'm cooler than the underside of a pillow. All right, so go back. So, any trends or anything you're seeing that's going to shape the future of your role as a credit analyst, or shape that role since you're leaving us?
Underwriting software and artificial intelligence. Some programs that we're using is, well, how we do it now is, we'll receive financials and we're hand spreading everything. Mm-hmm. We've invested into this artificial intelligence software where we upload these tax returns and financial statements, and it should be able to read them and spread them as if we did. And once we map everything, we should be able to make all these same adjustments that we usually take a look at thing. And if it is not able to do that, we should get it to a point where we are comfortable that it's accurate and uniform. Ultimately, we want to standardize the process, which brings us back to like being impartial to all different kinds of borrowers and not just weighing it so much on their character.
Way to bring it full circle, man. I appreciate that. Well, we're out of time, and I'm really bummed that you, look at the boo-boo face, that you're out of time with Tasi Bank. I feel like Tasi Bank's loss is definitely Emily's gain, for sure. I think we're going to, you're always welcome to come back and hang out with us at any time. I think we're going to lose a key member of the basketball team, if I'm understanding that correctly. Weren't you playing basketball right before this podcast?
Yeah, we were. It was an impromptu game.
So we're a bunch of bankers in a really cool environment.
Yeah.
I don't see swing, slides, or tan bark anywhere in the office, but yet you guys find a way to go play basketball. I'm scurrying around trying to line up podcast interviews, not to mention all the other stuff I have to do. Every single person's not available because there was a basketball game.
It was work related. We had something to hash out.
Like a team building exercise.
Team building
You
exercise.
take anybody to the house, you like do any, fadeaway threes?
Um,
Making it rain?
You should ask the interns.
Oh, I heard about that. It's too bad everybody left because I was going to get Tasi Bank basketball jerseys made for everybody. But now that a key member of the team is gone, no jerseys. Robin, truly a pleasure. It was great working with you. It was really cool hanging out and getting to know you over the years. And I really wish you, I know that Dave, Shirley, Viral, Hitesh, the whole management team, we wish you nothing but the best. We really appreciate you, and please come back and visit us anytime.
For sure. I mean, moving forward from there, I mean, it was a hard decision to make because, these relationships that we built here, like I look back like super fondly about every single one of them. I think, everyone who sits at a desk downstairs and in South Carolina, like, I look back fondly on those relationships that I've been able to build and things that we've been able to do together. We rebranded the entire company together.
100%. You were there from day one, really. I mean, I remember. I mean, you were just a fresh little kid that came on board.
Out of college.
It was like hanging out in the break room all the time, eating your cereal, going, I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's funny. I just lost my train of thought because you had brought something up. Oh, I know what it was. Not too many people know this, right? We are a division of Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Shout out my big sponsor, the only sponsor of the Making Waves podcast is Bank of Guam, the People's Bank.
The People's Bank.
They're located in Agana. Did I say that right?
I have no idea.
Anyway, 2 ways to get to Guam by airline from, and then another product shout out to United Airlines, who's not a sponsor. You go to Guam through either Japan or Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
If I go to Guam, if I get to go, I'm going to spend an extra day in Hawaii and I'm staying on your couch. I'm literally in the couch surfing in Hawaii.
For sure, you're welcome.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to do it midweek on a pipeline call and do it from your house and just have you as a special guest. And then you can kind of go through all your credit and stuff and go, wait a second, I want to talk about the integrity of this deal and the character. Just throw words around like that. That's what I do. They never know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you for tuning in to the Tasi Bank Making Waves podcast.
I'm your co-host.
I'm your co-host.
Robin Cartago.
That's me.
My first and last episode as co-host.
My first and last episode as co-host.
And as always, we want to shout out to Paul McCarrans of Irish Productions, who is our podcast producer. Thanks for tuning in, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time. I'm Alan Gaul, signing off for this episode.